Let's continue the last part of this module, that is from chapter 6, module 3, arithmetic operations pipeline design. So in this chapter we are going to study arithmetic operations. Okay, so what are the operations? We know that plus, minus, multiplication and division. So how to execute these operations in different pipeline stages. Okay, so only for few we have an example. So rest all are explained based with respect to the basic operations. See, like to explain multiplication we take help of adder. Okay, to explain division we take help of subtraction method. Okay, so that means extended version of plus is equal to the method of star. The extended version of minus will give us a explanation about division. Okay, so fine. Now we have few concepts here. Okay, so why we should use pipeline techniques is to enhance the efficiency, upgrade the efficiency. So we will get more performance of a computer system by using pipeline techniques to execute any of the operations. Okay, and one important note here is all calculations in the computer what we perform are assumed with respect to finite. So there is no word or no definition for infinite in the computer. Why is, see the scenario here. So if I want to execute some of the work or some program to calculate a distance between two stars. Okay, so in day-to-day life what we call two stars are of distance of infinite. Okay, but we will go for a lot of calculation. Okay, once we go for a lot of calculation, so these all calculations should take place in some of the hardware called as RAM. Okay, so here the meaning of this is, even though in day-to-day life we call distance between two stars as infinite, but when we really take the calculation on a computer system, so it will take a lot of resources like CPU cycles, RAM, hard disk, etc. So finally they all belongs to some of the measured value. Measured value means where we know starting value and end value. If we know starting value and end value, it cannot become a infinite, it will become a finite. Actually infinite is an imaginary value. Okay, so now all such a calculations whatever we perform in the computer system, we assume it as finite. Finite precision means definitely we have to store all the calculations in a resource which is measured in the sense we have start value and end value. From that we can calculate how much data or how much memory calculation has taken place to store in the memory. Okay, in such a situation. Okay, next, all the floating point operations and integer operations we work in fixed range. Hope we all studied in our C program. So integer is minus 32,002 plus 32,000. So this is a one range. So like this we have range for integer and a range for float. So whenever we have a range, there is no question of, or there is no space for assuming it as infinite. So definitely the all values will be considered as finite only. If values are finite, definitely their calculation mode will also be a finite, hence it is called as fixed range. Okay, now how we one important point we have to observe is, in very recent computers, floating point operations and integer operations are executed on separate hardware. This point is very important. We have separate hardware set for integer as well as floating point operations. Okay, hope when we go for some of the explanations in case study, we will come to know. Okay, so floating point hardware is separate and integer hardware is separate. Integer is very simple, floating point will take more CPU cycles. And also I hope you all remember MIPS, million instruction per unit, but for floating points we call it as flops, floating point operations per second. Okay, we cannot expect millions of floating point instructions executing in unit time called as a second or a minute. Okay, so some of the operations will take a lot of time to calculate. Okay, coming for the next, what are the simple examples for floating operations? I took one example, 2.5 into 3.5. So even if I write 2.0 into 3.0, if I mention something after a decimal point, it becomes floating point. Okay, and what are the different number systems computer will support are? One is regular integer, ones complement method, twos complement method, signed numbers, unsigned numbers. These all are supported by computer architecture to perform arithmetic operations. That means what? Can we perform plus between two numbers which are represented in ones complement? Yes, we can. Twos complement, it is allowed. Signed numbers addition is allowed. Unsigned number addition is allowed. All you have studied in your basic subject third semester or fourth semester, it was in a CO. Okay, so now what all the, apart from this arithmetic, what are the extra functions we can execute are elementary functions. What are elementary functions? X square, x cube, x raised to 4, x raised to 25, like that. So what else? Square root of a number, cube root of a number, etc. So these all are possible nowadays. Not only nowadays, we can execute functions, one from f function to mapping with respect to y function. So these all are possible in computer system. Okay, hope now please recall the concept you have studied in your system software. Okay, what is that? Representation of number. Representation of number. 32-bit a floating point number is represented in 32-bit as follows. Represented in 32-bit as follows. So sign bit is a MSB. Okay, and it is called as 0th bit. Okay, so generally we used to write like this: 0 in the my right side and highest value in the left side. Okay, so you can take the below notations. Okay, so 0, from here we will write up to 8, so 9. Okay, 9 to 30, and 31st is fixed for what? Sign. If sign is 1, number is negative. If sign is 0, number is positive. So exponent will be represented from 9 to 30, and 0 to 8 we will represent it as mantissa. Okay. Okay, so this is one of the sample example. Fine. Next, this I hope it will be in your examination as one of the important question. So arithmetic operation for arithmetic operation addition and its pipeline design. How it will be a pipeline design. For that I took two examples. One is a 2 bits adder and another one is a 3 bits adder. Hope you all remember 2 bits adder. That means there are 2 bits. There is one information called as A, another information called as B. So we will get 2 results. One is sum and another one is carry. So now if you take an example like this. Okay, hope I will make it 0 so that we will get answer. Okay, so what is this? This is called as information A and this is called as information B. Take this reference table and try to explain. 0, 1, A as 0, B as 1. See, this is a row which we have to refer. A 0, B 1. What is sum and carry? So sum is 1, carry is 0. So that is what first bits. Second bits A1 B0. So refer this table, A1 B0, A1 B0, sum is 1, carry is 0. What is the next row? 0 1. Okay, hope I will make a small change here so that both the states can be explained. Okay, so what is the next stage? 1 and 1. So take the last row, 1 and 1. 1 and 1 means what? Sum is 0, carry is 1. Okay, so if we make last bits as 0, see now if carry is 1, please forward the carry to the next bit, and in the next stage what we have to do is 0 plus 0 plus 1, 0 plus 0 plus 1, but we don't have a carry. Okay, I mean we are not mentioning here as a carry. So what we can do better is here we can put it as carry. See this, here is a carry. Okay, actually once we put it back to the carry, it is becomes 3 bits, which we are going to explain in the next step. As of now, what we will check is only we will check what is going to be sum and what is going to be carry. Okay, in all the cases of 0 0 0 1 1 0, we don't get a carry, but only in the third case we will get a carry, so that we will show sum as 0 and carry as 1. So once we finish this adder of 2 bits, then we will take a study of 3 bits. Okay, so what do you mean by 3 bits adder? There will be 3 information, but we keep output as 2 only. One is sum and another one is carry. So what are the inputs? A information, B information, C information. So here I mentioned, if we give the carry back to the engine, that is adder, it becomes 3 bit. Information 1, information 2, and the output of first step, which is a feedback. Okay, so that means what happens, we will get here as the three inputs, so it will automatically gets converted into 3 input 3 bits adder. Okay, now what all the fields we have in 3 bits are 3 information. So A information and B information, C information. So outputs will be again remains the same, one is sum and another one is carry. Okay, here we will show 3 informations. So here you can put like this imaginary diagram. So this is what the carry. Okay, so actually if we elaborate, how we will get is like this. Here is A, here is B, and here is sum, here is carry, and this is how really it works. See, A and B, the output of whatever it is C, and here we will write it as C. This is internal, this is a general diagram, and here we are mentioning actual diagram, how it will be. Okay, so fine. Now, so based upon a different case, take some of the examples and try to explain. Okay, so you all studied this in your ADE lab, some of the experiment, 3-bit adder. Okay, so what was the equation we have derived? I think I remember, it is A XOR B XOR C, and for carry we have derived AB plus BC plus AC. This is what the equation we have derived from the okay, so 3 bits adder. Okay, AB, BC and AC. Okay, so for sum A XOR B XOR C, for carry AB plus BC plus AC. That was the equation. Okay, fine. Now the next one is multiplication. Okay, how the multiplication will take place. Okay, so now whenever we perform multiplication of 2 values and both the values are of 8 bits, what we will get, the product will be of 16 bits. Okay, one example let me take. A is 10110101 and B is 100100011. Okay, how we will perform in our day-to-day life multiplication? See, 1 with all bits. So that means what I will get? All information as it is. As I go for next step, we used to write in our school days like plus here. Okay, we will write it as plus. So next number is what? 1. If I multiply with 1, I will get all the values as it is. You can see here, this 1 is here, this 0 is here, this 1 is here, this 0 is here. 2 times 1, 1 times 0, and 1 time 1. Okay, fine. Next here, next bit what we are multiplying is 0. So if we okay, so before I could start multiplication with 0, we used to add 2 times plus, because it is a third bit. So what is 0 multiplied with anything? It will be definitely 0. Okay, so next again we have one more 0. So this will be our output, and these are the this one plus symbols. Fourth bit multiplication, 3 bits. Fifth bit multiplication, 4 plus symbols. We used to write like this in our school days. Okay, so next, what is the fourth bit? It is 1. So write the information as it is. So like that, if we finish the multiplication, what we will get at end is, this is what the result. So if we count number of bits in the result, it will be 16, which we cannot store in our normal computer, means normal memory. So what happens? Let me give one idea which you all studied in your previous subject, microprocessor subject. Okay, so see here, there will be a memory. Each memory is of 1 byte. Okay, so let me take capital A and capital B. Let me take this as P. Okay, here I will mention where we can store a P. P means product, answer of multiplication. So what is A? A is, if you merge 4 bits, okay, 8 plus 4, 12, 8 plus 2, 10, 10 plus 1, 11. 11 means B, okay, it is B, and it is 5. Okay, B5 is multiplied with the, what is this? 9 and 3. 9 and 3. Okay, so answer will be 16 bits. This is how we will get. Okay, now answer is somewhere F E 7 6. So answer I will write 6, 7, E and F. So now here B with 5, it is possible because it is 1 byte and operand is also 1 byte. What is second? 93. Okay, but we cannot store 6, 7, EF in only one position. So for that reason only I took 2 positions. Here you can see 2 positions. One is this and one is this. Now using little endian or big endian, so split the number into 2 half. If I am using little endian, take the small LSB side value and store it in a higher value. So what is a higher value? If I take this as a first address, B as second address, P is in next 2 addresses, 3 and 4, which is the highest value between 3 and 4. 4 is the highest value. There you store smaller value for little endian. So here I will get EF. So 6, 7 will be remaining. That will come into the smaller address. So this is one method. So if we want opposite, then what we can do is, opposite means big endian addressing. So that means here we will write EF and here we will write store, not write store 6, 7. So this is one method of storing the answer. Okay. Now, okay, last case study is, okay, I forgot to give one idea. So in our textbook they have discussed only plus and multiplication, division and subtraction not explained, but I have added one or two few points about subtraction and division. So one case study, let me take it for explanation. Okay, so this case study is for Motorola MC 680 and 40. 680 and 40. Okay, so here what we have is, see, the total work is divided into 3 stages. Total work is divided into 3 stages. You can see here, stage 1 is up to this, stage 2 and stage 3, and also vertically it is divided into 2 parts. One is mantissa part and another one is exponent part. Okay, exponent part. Parallelly mantissa part and exponent part will execute, but stage wise it will execute serially. That means first stage 1 has to clear, it has to forward the answers to stage 2, then stage 2 will go for upgradation of the answer, finally stage 3 will complete the operations. Okay, stage 1, here input values are collected. Input values are collected from register as well as incrementer. See here, register file of 8 size. So those all values will be taken, and through the multiplexer, since it is a bidirectional arrow mark, we will forward it into the register part. Okay, so if we take a number, and we divide into 2 parts, one is a mantissa and one is exponent. In that, only mantissa is forwarded here. You can see this bidirectional arrow mark. Part of exponent is forwarded to the exponent section. Okay, so the adder unit starts working from this exponent part. Always remember, first we have to finish exponent part calculation, then we have to come for mantissa whenever we are working on multiplication. See, very simple. When we perform 3.5 into 2.5, we will start with the part, this one. Okay, so this is how we will start from our side. So this same part of calculation, so which will give us results at a different stage, that will be stored in register file. From there the result of this fractions will be stored, and that is forwarded. Only after this part finishes, we will carry out the mantissa part. So similarly, once the answers are not yet possible to store by 8 size register, then it will take a help of next stage or next capacity register. Again, same procedure will continuously takes place. Okay, so that means in this Motorola floating point operations, okay, so continuously similar set of operations at a different stage. From one stage to another stage, precision of answer goes increasing. Okay, that means, okay, so that means the first stage collects input values, and it will gives us the computational results. Once the results are stored in 64-bit registers here, once results are stored in 64-bit register file, that is for second stage. Stage 2 takes next level of calculation using multiplexer, with the help of multiplexer. So it will go for little more precision. Okay, but make sure that answer is not yet completed. So once the answer is not yet completed, it is forwarded for the stage 3, and stage 3 will completes the work and gives the final result as output. Okay, so here last one small definition is here is what we mean by division operation. So in our day-to-day life, so if I write some work called as 7 divided by 2, we have a practice of writing it as 3.5. Okay, actually we have to write like 3, okay, with the 1. That means what? 3 is a quotient and 1 is a remainder. Okay, so for that we have two separate operators in our computer language. One is quotient operator, that is we call it as a division operation, another one is remainder operator. So whatever, if I perform 7 divided by 2, I will get 2 results. One is a quotient and another one is remainder. Quotient means 3, remainder means 1. So what will be Q here? 3, and R will be 1. And most of the divisions, as I mentioned, we used to write it as floating point, like 3.5. Okay, these all are the methods we will write. So we can perform, as I mentioned, in computer the division is performed by taking a base operation called as subtraction. So that means like how we define multiplication as n times plus, okay, division we define n times minus. Minus means subtraction. Division is defined as sum n times of subtraction. Okay, and since it is a subtraction, we all know that subtraction works in 2's complement method of our in a computer system. Okay. Okay, so please remember this completes our module 3. Okay, and from the next class we will start with the module 4. Okay, so please concentrate on all the important concepts from this module. Thank you.